Hi everybody, welcome to another study, and today's title is Remembered as a Faithful Follower. And we're going to look at 2 Kings chapter 18, verses 5 to 7. Sorry if this is a bit of a negative tone to begin with today, but I think this is a great question for us to think about in life. And the question is this: what would you like to be remembered for? Or maybe I could put it this way: if someone was to write a biography book about your life for other people to read, what conclusion would you want people to come to at the end of the book? How would you like them to describe you? I don't know about you, but I have lots of ideas that come to mind when I think about that question. There's part of me that would love to be remembered as a nice guy in the coffee community, a decent musician and singer-songwriter. I'd love to be known as an encourager, someone who got alongside people, maybe an adventurer who traveled all over the world and experienced lots of different cultures and places. And let's face it, I'd love to be remembered as a top family member and especially a good husband. I mean, the list could go on. There's no end to the things I'd like to be remembered for. I'd love to be known for the good things that I've done. But in all honesty, the older I get and the more mature I become in my faith, the more I actually want to be remembered the way that we see Hezekiah being remembered in today's passage. 2 Kings 18, 5 to 7 tells us this about Hezekiah. Hezekiah trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel. There was no one like him among all the kings of Judah, either before him or after him. He held fast to the Lord and did not stop following him. He was successful in whatever he undertook. He rebelled against the king of Assyria and did not serve him. Not long after Solomon died, civil war broke out, and Israel was divided into two: a northern kingdom called Israel and a southern kingdom called Judah. In the period that followed, the forwards and backwards pattern that we thought about a few days ago, well, it continued. Occasionally, there would be a good God-fearing king who would take the people forwards. However, most of the time, there was a bad king who ended up leading the people backwards and away from God, further into sin. Hezekiah, well, he was one of the few good kings, and this kind of obituary-like passage gives him an incredible report. It tells us that Hezekiah has been remembered as a faithful follower of God. What a way to be remembered. Do you know, not many people get to read their own obituary, but for Alfred Nobel, he did. There's an incredible story that I read recently. When Alfred's brother died, the newspaper got him mixed up with Alfred, and so they printed the wrong obituary. The newspaper, well, it focused on how Alfred had created dynamite and as a result was responsible for more death and destruction than anyone who had ever lived. Alfred Nobel, as he read this, was horrified, and so he decided he had to do something to change how he would be remembered. And so he used all of his wealth to establish an award that recognized the people who work for peace in the world instead of destruction. And we've all heard of this award. It's the Nobel Peace Prize. Alfred's plan to rewrite his obituary worked, and today most people do associate his name with peace rather than destruction. I wonder today, is your story one of sin's destruction, or is your story all about the peace of Christ? Let's pray that we might be like Hezekiah, remembered for being a faithful Jesus follower. As we finish off today, I'd love to encourage you to go and check out another song. This one is by Casting Crowns, and it's called Only Jesus. And the lyrics of that song speak about how, as Christians, we should want people to look at our lives and not remember us and think about how great we are, but when people look at our lives, we want them to see Jesus, and we want them to see how good he is. So go and check that song out on YouTube, Only Jesus by Casting Crowns, and think through what we've been discussing today.